How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
Welcome
Hi,
to the show.
everybody. Thank you very much. Good to see you guys
Of
after
course.
a few weeks of being off.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And we're going to welcome the summer, maybe with
yes.
some trips.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, is that okay?
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead, steal the show.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everyone is doing fine. One of the things that I'm going to be presenting today would be how to go to Europe without spending so much money. So let's do this. So let's do to the first thing. Let's go to the next slide and see what we have. And then in this slide, basically, it's not just about going to Europe. Next slide, please. So that it's not just about going to Europe, but it's also about you going anywhere. Now, I'll share some of my experiences and what I have done to get all the everywhere for free or for a lot less money. So let's see if we can do that. So one of the tours basically is that you would there are different tours that you could have. There's a conference, there's yachting or boating or ship. There is gastronomic, which means you eat. There's athletic, you go for sports, for Olympics, whatnot. Corporate, you want to invest, you want to see different places, ITs, production companies, car companies, whatever. Charter tours. Well, you basically go from place to place to place to place, and you know what time, where you're going to be. There is also wine tours that you can take advantage of and go. Now, you could go do all of this by booking it with somebody else or by a tour company, or you could do it on your own. It's a little bit more work, but it's a lot cheaper for you to do. So cultural stuff, for example, you want to go to some carnival, you want to go to some festival, you want to do something else, running off the bulls, whatnot, and then you can actually do it. Special events as well. That could be Olympics, that could be some conference, that could be a number of things that you can do. All right, let's go to the next slide and just understand a little bit more about this. In the next slide that we will see basically is a general tour of Europe. This is what Europe basically looks like on a tour. Now, basically, you could start from any of these points and go to the next point. Stay there for one day, for a few hours, go to the next one, depending on how much time you have, how much money you have, and what you want to see and do. So let's talk a little bit more in details about how you can get to these places. Let's go to the next slide, please, and talk a little bit more about some of the challenges, I think it is. Next slide, please. So in the next slide, you will see basically is, so we'll talk about, first we'll talk about the same thing that I said. If you are a food person, there's plenty of food for you to enjoy. There is running off the bulls and the tomato festival basically in in Spain, that you can go and experience. There are museums you can see, there is nature that you can see, historical stuff. And of course, if you're a party animal, you want to party all night and then sleep during the day, hey, it's your money and your time, so you can do all of that. There's plenty of things to do, and it is for everybody. So there's something for everybody. Now, if you're going as a group or as a partner, and your partner is like into museums, you're more into, historical stuff or into nightlife, you could make a trade-off between both of you. So there's something to see in each of these big cities for everybody. Let's go to the next slide and get a little bit more acquainted. All right, so you would say, hey, Mr. Ramin, I don't have a Schengen visa. You may say, hey, I don't have enough time. Or you say, I don't have any partners to go with. What do I do? Or most importantly, I don't have enough money. All right. Now, I can't help you with a visa, of course. Time, you're young. Most probably you're very young, so you definitely have enough time, especially summer is coming, everybody's off. So please take 2 weeks, 3 weeks to a month off and enjoy going to some place. So if you get a visa first, the rest will be easier. So first you get your visa. If you have a partner, if you have a friend, someone to go with, it makes it a lot easier and a lot cheaper and safer. But if you don't have anybody, you could still go around and then, explore the world and understand and see what's going on. It's a great idea to do that. Now, with regards to money, you don't need to have a lot of money. Now, I can show you that with $1,000 or less, hopefully less, you can for 1 month visit maybe 5 to 10 countries. Now you would say, how is that possible? That basically, and I'm going to give you basically budget of how to spend your money wisely. Now, of course, you need like a plane ticket to actually go to just one country, start with one country. If it's Germany, if it's Italy, if it's like Turkey, if it's whatever it is, or London, whatever, you need to go to just one city, and then from there you could track. So let's go to the next slide and talk about how we could get there. Now I have done this myself, so it's not like I'm saying this because I read it off the internet. So I've done it myself and I know it works. You can do it. Now there's the cheapest ways to travel. After you go to the first city, whatever city that is, you can hitchhike, and that's hitchhiking. It's not highly recommended, but people do it. Hitchhiking is like you just stand on the side of the road and say, hey, take me to the next city or whatever. That's one thing. But if you're a little bit more cautious, you're like, oh, you know what, I don't want to take so much risk. The next cheapest thing is that you get a bicycle. Now, you go to some city and then you walk around, or even if the cities are closer, you could just bike to that city. Now, you could buy a bicycle, a used bicycle from, that you have OLX here, there are different, or OLX or whatever it's called. You have like similar things in Europe. You could buy a used bike for $100 or less, $50, $60, and then go around. And it's a great way. You're not gonna get as tired as walking, but still you're gonna get to many places fast, and you don't have to use public transportation. You already have your GPS, so you could do it. Now, the next thing is a bus. Now, buses are great, and they can definitely help you go from cities to cities. And this is the next cheapest one. The next after that, a little bit more expensive, is the railroad. So now it's something called Eurorail, and they go from some city to city. So if you buy like 5 cities, 6 cities, whatever, and then you go to the city, you get off, you explore for 1 day or 2 days, and then you get on the train and you go to the next city. Or you could stay there for a week if you want, because this is like for 1 month and you're traveling from place to place to place. Okay, you need to get to that train station, because you have that Europass or that train pass that you can get on any train anytime. Now, there are different levels of economics in this. Like, for example, you could get the first class, you could get like the faster train or the slower train. It all costs differently, and it also depends on when are you traveling. That's really important. So if you have a little bit more money, then you could rent a car, and then you could just sleep in the car and just go everywhere that you want. That's something else that you can do, and that really, really helps with a lot of economics and helps you with the money situation. And so you have a car. It's going to be a little bit expensive, but if you want comfort, then you take a car. And then you can go anywhere within 1 month that you're there. Now, in the US, one of the things that people do, basically, they buy a used car, okay, from some place, like let's just say for $10,000. And then when they finish, they sell the car for $9,000 or for $10,000 again, or for $8,000. So you save a lot of money by just being in the car and just sleeping in the car. And you would say like, hey, what about shower and all of that? I'll tell you about that as well, where to eat and what to do and whatnot. Okay, and if you really got a lot of money and you have so much time, you want to see 5 cities in 5 days, then you take a a plane pass. That means you get off in this city, and the next day you go to another city, then you explore the city, then come back on the airplane, go to the next city. In 1 week you could see 5 cities. Okay, now what I have done, let's go to the next slides, but what I have done is, like, when I finished my master's degree, I wanted to celebrate. I felt like celebrating, so what I did was I actually saw 6 countries and maybe about 10, 15 cities in 2-3 weeks. So I celebrated. So, you know, I went from Turkey to Germany to Switzerland to Spain to France, and I don't know, I forgot. So I was like in 6 different countries. All right. Now, one of the ways that you can save, now your biggest expense here is going to be transport. Okay, so go from place A to place B. So you already are going from Central Asia, going to Europe. So that's the money you spend, $700, $800, whatever it is. The rest you can budget yourself between $10 to $20 a day. That's between $300 to $500 to $600 per month. So you're gonna save a lot. Now we'll see what you can do. Now, if you really don't wanna go camping, okay, and just sleep in different places, then you can take a hostel. Now this hostel costs $10 to $15 a night. Find a cheap one. Usually what I do is I stay with friends. I have different connections with different people. Now I was in New York, I grew up in New York. That's like everybody from around the world came there to study, to work, to whatever. So I have different friends in different places. I call them up and either I stay with them or I stayed with their friends or their family if they were out. So that's one way for you to save on the cost. The other way for you is to save on the cost of hotels is that you walk all day and explore the city, and at night you can take a bus or a train to go to the next city, and you can sleep on the plane, or I'm sorry, on the bus or on the rail. So you don't have to spend any money on hotels. And if you really need a shower, you can either go to the beach or pay $5 or something to a gym and take a shower and then freshen yourself up and go to the next city. That's something else you can do. Now this is that you could actually sleep, you know, on the bus or something else, you know, whatever. There is an application that people use around the world. It's called couch surfing. So it's right there, that's couch surfing. In that couch surfing, you download it and then you tell people, hey, I'm in this city, I want to stay in your house or something like that. And you can stay on their couch for 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, whatever. And if they welcome you. So first they have to vet you through the app so that it's your passport, your phone, that you are the right person that you say you are. And then you could go and stay with them for free. They even may provide you dinner or breakfast or something like that. If not, you know, I'll show you other ways where you can actually save money on food and whatnot. Okay, let's go to the next slide and find out what we can do to save on money. Now, your best friend as a young person is these Maggi or ramen noodles. Okay, they cost you 50 cents to $1 per, and then all you need is hot water. Once you have the hot water, you have this, and some of them already have protein basically. So all you have to do is, like, they come with chicken or meat or whatever that you're interested in eating. So it'll fill you up. You really don't need to have like a big amount of food and go to these expensive restaurants all the time. For $1 or $2, you could actually have a good meal. And then, you know, boiled potatoes. Hey, you know, you're on a budget, so, you know, you can't be really choosy. Boiled potatoes, boiled eggs that you can do, and also cans of beans. These are cheap and they fill you up and they give you enough vitamins and nutrition for you to go on. The next thing, of course, fruits and vegetables. Definitely that's necessary. For you to take bread as usual, you know, it fills you up and it gives you enough carbohydrates so that you could actually function. Now, you're not going there, if you're on a budget, you're not really looking for the best authentic food. You just want to see the place. You want the experience of it if you don't have so much money. If you have the money, you go to the 4-star restaurants and have fun. Something else that a lot of people don't tell you, and it's really important, onions. Onions are antibacterial, so it'll really help you adjust to different climates. So eat a lot of onions. Beware of all of the bad breath, but definitely onions are something really interesting for you to take with you, and not many people say. Okay, the other thing that you need to always have in your backpack, and of course you should not carry a big luggage. Okay, so if you're going exploring, you need a couple of pants and a couple of shirts and one jacket, just in case it's rainy. So it has to be a rain jacket because it's during the summer, so it's not going to get too cold. And then you could change your clothes, and then you could go wash it someplace, or wash it in the river or whatever, and then wear it back again. So it's summer, it's okay. So the other thing that you would need is also medicine. Okay, so for example, some of the medicine that you would need is antibacterial medicine, let's say ciprofloxacin. I usually use that if I have some stomach issues, pop that in, and it takes care of a lot of the problems. Now, don't depend on it, don't eat it for 30 days, but if you have some problem, boom. Or if you're not sure of the food, take one, you'll be okay. So take about 250 milliliter, something like so, that milligram. So that'll be the right size. If you find 150 to 100, it's fine too. But don't depend on them, because it's going to kill all the bacteria inside your gut. So just it's just going to be a temporary thing. You need something for headaches, body aches, like a Tylenol or something, ibuprofen, something to that effect. You need to take that with you, and you need to always have a bottle of water. And if you have something antibacterial for the water that you're going to use, that's fine too. Otherwise, water's everywhere. You could just open a faucet and just drink the water. So there's plenty of ways to deal with it. Now, one of the things that actually, I'll tell you a story. Now, I was on a budget. I was with my friend. We're taking a car. This was United States, and we went from New York to Virginia, and we did not want to spend $50 to $60 on on a hotel, but we need to wash ourselves and look good. So what we did, we parked inside a parking lot of a hotel, and then early in the morning we woke up, and then as the guests were coming out, we went to their room. Basically, they were checking out, we went to their room, and we took a shower, and everything was there. We took a shower, we had a little sip of tea and whatnot, and then we got out as if we pretended that we were guests there. So we got in for free. So these are different ways that you can actually work on getting a budget for for your travels. There are, if you really see, the thing about traveling is the experience, okay? Not only that it'll make you wiser, it'll toughen you up, and also gives you a lot of challenges that you need to overcome. And also in a trip, you also get to know your friend to see if they're a real friend or not. So the real friends actually will stick by you, and they would make the situation easier. And so that's really important as well. Try to also go make friends. So what I did, basically go to one city, and then I try to go, make friends with people, talk to them, talk to people, and hey, how are you? Where are you from? What you're doing? And start that. And then they may even invite you to some parties. They may invite you to their homes. They might invite you to something else. So you need to make these connections. You say, hey, I'm from here, and I'm here for this long. They're like, hey, why don't you stay with me, or let me take you to lunch or whatnot. Next time they come to your country, you could host them like that. So I have friends, or I had friends everywhere, in a lot of these places. The other thing is a lot of social clubs and clubs that are around the world that are actually, what they're doing is like couch surfing. You're getting to know people from different places, and that's how we make contacts. It's really, really, really important to make contacts. Your network is your biggest asset. More than money, more than anything else, your network is the best thing that you can actually do for yourself. Let's go on to the next slide and see next slide to talk about some of the things. Okay, now you see the world is big, Okay, there are plenty to see. Now, there are things that you could see on the internet, there are things that you can read about, there are things that other people tell you about, but it's not the same as you going in there and experiencing it. Experience people, experience places, and it'll tell you a lot about yourself. It'll tell you about how much you can take. And can you be spontaneous? Can you be really like a strong person and do things on your own? Make friends, and it'll just force you to do, to make friends. It'll force you to do more and rely on yourself. And going on trips to going to different countries, let's just say if you have $1,000 and you want to see 20 countries or 10 countries, you can do it, okay? Always have the can-do attitude, and always don't pay for things. Always try to find shortcuts in the things that I mentioned to you. Stay with somebody else, try to make friends, try to make connections. You don't have to eat as much or eat very, something, like a noodle or something like that, so that you actually, your dollar stretches further, and challenge yourself to, like, let's just say that you want to spend $1,000 in 1 month, try to make that to $500, $600, $700, and at the end, let's just say $200-300 left, buy a souvenir, $2, $5 souvenir, take your camera. See, you need to take your essentials so that you have all the memories. Each one of the cities has its own poetry. Each one of the cities has its own culture that you have to understand and that you are respecting, and also, understanding how to be careful. You can't just go there like it's Europe and it's completely safe. No place in the world is 100% safe, okay? Now, the things that you need to do is watch out for things, watch out for yourself. Don't carry a lot of cash. You could definitely use your credit card, take out some money. That's much better. And if you have some cash, put it in different pockets in different places. Don't put all your cash in one place. If somebody takes $200 from here, you have $400, $600 here, okay, in different places. Put them in different places, and then, don't carry so much weight with you. Just have a hat, your water, some clothes, and a variety of different things that you need. Of course, you need, like, for example, nail clippers, you need your glasses, you need sunglasses, you need all of these things. A comfortable shoes, that's something else that you would need. And of course, a rain jacket or some jacket that keeps you warm, okay? And of course, instead of wearing one big, thick jacket, it's much better to take 2-3 different things on top, layer it on top of each other. It really teaches you a lot about you. It really, going and meeting all these difficulties by yourself, it really helps you become you, okay? And this is really important. And the other thing is that because you're not in nature, you're not in some mountain or some desert, there are other people. You could talk to them, you could see their reaction, you could get them to be your friends. Maybe you can get some value from them. Maybe you can stay a night or two with them. You could have like a nice meal with them. Make friends, make connections, because when, it's reciprocate. You could always, when they come to your place, then you can do the same. I think that's all about, I think that's enough that I have mentioned about going around and doing it for cheap. If you have any questions, do let me know. Thank you very much. I'm Ramin from the American Institute, and hope to see you next time. Back to you guys.